Hello everyone, so we are back with Chenai and we have Doc again with us. So today we're going to talk about something that I feel there's not much awareness about. I've heard of Ozempic and these new drugs coming up that are for weight loss, and they apparently control your appetite and hunger. I don't know the science of it, but I think there isn't much awareness, and people need to know more about how it works, what effects it has on our body, and if there are any long-term side effects of it. So let's dig into the topic. Let's start with you, Chenai.
So maybe the doc will come in with some of the names, but we are just looking at what's in the gym where people, they have goals, long-term goals to lose weight, and some are type 2 diabetes patients or clients that want to lose weight. So they've been on it for a long time, or they come in, they've been trying whatever they've been trying outside, but maybe it's not really working for them to get to their goal.
Yeah.
And now, as a professional trainer, we are not allowed to recommend drugs for starters, vis-a-vis also nutrition, because there are certain professional boundaries that we cannot cross. But we can just suggest to them or recommend certain things that they can do in the gym. Then when they want to look for specific bespoke drugs for their certain weight loss, or maybe they type 2 diabetes patients, then we refer them to the doctors, and then they can be prescribed for those drugs. But as trainers, we are trying by all means to manage their weight by doing exercises in the gym. Because by the end of it all, I think personally that whatever you put in your body, and by the end of the day, how much of it have you burned? So if your input is greater than your output, then obviously you're going to put on weight. If your output is greater than your input, by the end of the day, then you're going to have weight loss. Now for people who are diabetic, then obviously there have to be a certain tweaks to their diet, bespoke, tailor-made for them, which is maybe very low. Like if you look, that's something that we're going to talk about today, but apparently our nutritionist is not available. Certain diets, like your keto diet, which is recommended for people with type 2 diabetes, and also if you're looking at Atkins diet, all these are low carbohydrate diets that I'm talking about. Keto is just high fat. Atkins is also high protein, but very low in carbohydrates, because by the end of the day, what you don't want to do is to spike your blood sugar level. So I can't give them the specifics on the diets themselves, but I just tell them this is something that you can actually try to follow. But myself as a profession, we come into the gym, we exercise, we train. I design a program that will basically increase the volume of expenditure in terms of calories, so that I can enhance the output by the end of the day. Now, obviously, you have clients who come in and they're saying, Chenai, you know what, I know this, but they want quick fixes. Yeah. They want to get the results like pronto, like yesterday. And that's when we run into problems. But I mean, as a profession, obviously, you read into these drugs. So I'm familiar with them, like your Ozempic, which is basically a weight loss drug. For type 2 diabetes patients. Then you have your Wegovy, Munjauro. These are the drugs that are out there for people to now, apparently, so I can't tell them to do that. Then I leave them to the doc. Then he can explain further how it
So
works.
there's many drugs. One of them, like, that's sort of brand new, that's in the market, is GLP-1.
Okay.
GLP-1's got really popular. The company is making billions of dollars. I think it's a Norwegian company, something like that. And so originally it's for people who have diabetes, who have these insulin issues, because it's a glucagon-like peptide. So this is going to help patients with diabetes. The issue is people who are non-diabetic and who are overweight, but they're non-diabetic, they're using these drugs to lose weight. So number one, you're reducing these drugs for the people who actually need it.
That were designed to have those drugs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so you're making it difficult for people who genuinely need it. So it's more of an ethical issue there as well. More than just a health problem, there's a bit of an ethical problem. Like, you don't need these drugs. People who actually need these drugs, they're the one that's needed, right? Okay. And that's going to spike up the prices for people who really need it.
Okay.
For example, these drugs are really expensive drugs.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact price, but thousands of dollars for a few doses, for example. They're not cheap.
That is why they are so popular in America, for starters, because maybe they have the disposable income to buy them.
I mean,
And
they're popular here as well.
also
They're
UAE.
popular here.
In this part of the world?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're popular here as well.
It is.
okay.
Actually, I read an article today in College Times where they were saying Nova Nordisk, the Danish company, they've actually informed UAE that they should encourage people who are on weight loss programs not to take Ozempic, but to take Wegovy, because Wegovy is tailor-made for weight loss. Ozempic is for type 2 diabetes. Now, the problem is that in Dubai, the type 2 diabetic patients, like what the doctor was saying, they are running out of drugs in the pharmacies because people are just muscling them out. People want to lose weight and do that. So it's a big business. And also in that same article, they were saying that in terms of market capitalization, Novo Nordisk is the 12th largest value in the world. So I mean, it's basically outperforming things like JP Morgan, Chase, Walmart, Exxon, and Mobil. So like the doctor said in the other episode that we had, medicine makes money. So there's no way this company, they are going to sit down and try to take the 12 billion profit that they made last year from their balance sheet, because they're making a lot of money.
Drug companies are making, as you said, a lot of money. So the building that I study in is called Johnson & Johnson. And you can, these guys spend billions on drug manufacturing and also drug advertisements. There's so many advertisements out there now that are, you see on YouTube, like, to use their drugs, And one of the drugs that I want to talk about was even SSRIs.
Okay.
So SSRIs are antidepressants. Right? And I feel like that's an important drug that unfortunately gets prescribed a bit too early on. Like, for example, somebody comes with a bad mood and they're prescribed antidepressants, SSRIs. And I feel like they're actually really detrimental to one's performance in the gym. Right? They cause decrease in testosterone, and they can give you a lot of withdrawal effects when you stop using them.
Yeah, I've heard of the withdrawal effects. When I was doing my online psychology course, we had a very small section on antidepressants.
Yep.
And the professor said that it could go to a point when you get off the antidepressant, you can get suicidal, because I can't remember clearly. Maybe you can tell me more about this. Is that it gives you a dopamine kick, and then your body doesn't know, after you go off the antidepressant, the body doesn't know how to produce that hormone or neurotransmitter. Is that right?
Absolutely. So it's like whenever you take the drug, it's basically like just like any other illegal or illicit drug. It's just sort of controlled. It gives you that dopamine rush. It gives you that happy hormones. But once you're off it, you're sort of dependent for the rest of your life. So people take antidepressants for basically their whole lives. And that's a huge problem.
So the common thread in all these things that we are talking about is that people, I don't know.
People want a quick fix.
People want a quick fix.
Yeah, the psychology behind it. Let's talk about that. That why are people running behind these things? And why do people not look for another way of getting out of, say you want to lose weight, your depression and things like that?
People want their comfort.
So, talking about SSRIs, if you read a book, so there's a book on treating depression, treating like eating disorders. They said that in the olden days, I'm talking like in the 1800s, if someone had a psychological disorder, they would actually say, you should spend a month in the countryside. So that was treatment, that was a form of treatment. Drink milk,
Really?
go to the countryside, quit work for some time, and take a break. Unfortunately, nowadays, you don't have that advice anymore. Now the advice is, okay, look, you got to take this drug for this amount of time, and
You want the fast way out.
Absolutely.
And we want the easy way out.
Absolutely.
But we may say it's easy, and it's probably, it's like your instant gratification. You feel like you've helped yourself, but what are the long-term effects, say for example, even Ozempic or these other medication, antidepressants, we understand there is, but what about the other drugs that you were talking about? From as a medical student, what do you think are the long-term effects of most of these drugs?
So, you're affecting your natural hormones that are being produced. It's just like anabolic steroids, for example. You're affecting your natural testosterone that's being produced. So if you're taking something like GLP-1, which is your body already produces glucagon. So now you're taking GLP-1, the body's gonna think, okay, I don't need to produce that anymore. So it's gonna down-regulate. But now when you're off GLP-1, it's gonna take your body's gonna take time to get those natural hormones back. You get me? So the natural production sort of decreases, right?
So now now as a trainer, you see, they try this, and most of people, they get hooked onto it and they become addicted to it, and at times they even increase their dosages just to try to stay. And one was the first time you use it, yes, you lose a lot of weight because, like what the doc says, it suppresses appetite.
Yeah.
You feel full, and then you feel like I don't have to eat anymore. So one, I feel like you're going to deprive yourself of certain nutrients in the body which are really needed by the body to function health, so that your body can function normally and also in a healthy way. So if you depend on these drugs, yes, you're going to lose weight, but you can't be on them forever. Because, like what the doc say, you're going to have certain side effects. Now, talking about steroids, which is a very common drug in the gym, or for people who want very popular,
and very tempting,
and also quick fixes. Because the results are, they are so massive, so exponential growth in muscle that once you use it, not talking from experience because I never used them myself, but I had people because I made a decision that long-term benefits, pros and cons, is it worth it? The risk-benefit analysis of it.
But
it's
why?
not.
Don't you think it would have given you better gains? Think about it, man. If you take steroids, hypothetical question. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying what about the gains,
It's massive. So now that takes me back to the time I was doing competitions. So you're competing with people that are taking drugs, but I made a decision. Because the moment you take something to enhance your performance, one, in most cases, people become lazy because they're now dependent on that. So they don't put as much effort into their training. Yes, you come in, you do those, you push, but because you feel like, no, I don't have to really push that hard for myself because I'm going to get the same results as the other guy who is pushing. So you become so dependent on it. So you're not going to put so much effort into it. Now, me knowing that I have to depend on the natural that I have, I'm going to commit. I'm going to be disciplined, and I'm going to be regular. And also that will drive me so that I can actually try to show the other guy that, you know what, you can depend on this, but I can actually outperform you. Because they say if hard work works more than talent, hard work wins all day. Someone who is talented, if they are not working hard, they will not outdo the guy who is working hard. So that's what I believe. Hard work pays. Absolutely. Hard work pays. So now I know with these guys. Now the problem with testosterone, like what the docs say, if you take it in, your body is already producing testosterone naturally. Why not take advantage of that and train at certain times where the testosterone levels are so high? Then you can actually get the maximum benefits out of it. Now, if you take testosterone, your body is going to, like the doc said, reduce its own production of testosterone.
Yeah.
Now, your testosterone levels are going to drop. Now, it's out there, everyone knows it. It's people who take, they start to develop, because now your testosterone levels are low. Now, your body, normally with men, also we have some certain estrogen levels in the body. Now, those ones are now going to basically manifest themselves on the outside.
Yeah, so testosterone and estrogen are sort of, as your testosterone increases, your estrogen also increases a little bit. That's why young men, when they go through puberty, some of them might get gynecomastia.
Exactly.
Because it's that testosterone goes up.
Just for the people who don't know, those are males who develop male boobs.
Oh.
Yes, they start to develop male boobs. Actually, for someone using testosterone, you can actually tell by their boobs, they start to hang.
Because they're injecting themselves with testosterone? Testosterone.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
And also they start to develop secondary sexual characteristics that are typical of women. Like their voice becomes, it shrieks a little bit. It's no longer the deep. Yeah, it's no longer the deep voice. And it happens. It happens, and also your libido drops because of doing that. And also now, we're talking about women. We're talking about myths out there that women, when they naturally train, they're not going to put on muscle.
Yeah, we spoke about it.
We talked about. They're not going to bulk up, but that is naturally. But also, we have women now who are injecting testosterone. Now, those are the women that when you look at them,
they have bigger arms than me, bro.
And they have bigger arms than you, dude.
I didn't know women do that.
They have thicker legs than me, dude. They have bigger chest than me, dude. But also at the same time, they manifest secondary sexual characteristics that typical of men. Their voice becomes deep.
Yeah.
They start to develop mustache, and
that's how it happens.
And also, so they start to. So now, the question is, how much do you want it? Do you want to have this quick fix, which by the end of the day, you're going to develop? Obviously, your body is going to it has its own way of working. By the end of the day, you're going to destroy your kidneys, because your kidneys are going to filter out a lot of this foreign agent out of the body. Your liver is going to go into overdrive. Then, obviously, you're going to have kidney issues, liver issues, and also your heart. You see, a heart is a muscle.
Yep.
You can't inject it, because now, the thing with steroids, you have to apply to that specific muscle. If I want my biceps to grow, I'm going to inject on the bicep. If I want my legs, my thighs to grow, I have to inject on them. Now, you can't inject your heart. You can't.
Yeah.
Because the moment you do that, you're dead.
Yeah.
As such. But now everything else is growing at an exponential rate. But your heart is growing at a normal rate.
No. So actually what happens is even the heart grows, actually.
When you do that?
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe when your muscles grow faster than but your heart is not growing at the same rate.
But because the heart's a muscle, it's also growing. And actually what happens is
Yes.
these people that use a lot of these steroids is that the heart muscle also becomes thicker.
It becomes thicker.
And so you've got the imagine the lumens like this. Now that muscle becomes thicker and thicker, so the lumen becomes
It opens up.
narrow and narrower.
Okay.
It becomes narrower and narrower.
Damn.
And so now it comes to a point where the heart tries to pump that blood, but it's sort of blocked.
Yeah.
Because there's so much muscle.
Yeah.
Because you've gained so much muscle. Because the heart also grows.
So it restricts the blood vessels.
Absolutely. So the aorta, you guys know the aorta?
Yeah, the aorta,
Yeah.
that pumps blood to the rest of the body.
The aorta also has a layer of muscle. So people who do these steroids and stuff, that thickness of the aorta increases. So that lumen, becomes narrower and narrower until at one point they run or they lift and suddenly they get a heart attack. And that's why all these guys, 35, 40, young guy, looking massive guy, dies of a heart attack because of that lumen.
It doesn't make
narrower.
sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
He eats healthy, he sleeps well, no stress life. But for some reason he died of a heart attack at 35. It's like, what's up, man? Like, so the aorta becomes thicker. And it's because of that.
It's so good to know the
It
science.
becomes thicker, so the opening, the lumen, which is the opening of it, becomes narrow and restricts blood flow.
Absolutely.
And if there's a clot, then you can easily have it sticking,
Yep.
and then you have a heart attack.
It's like a pipe,
Yeah.
Pipe, suddenly, that becomes narrower and narrower until eventually one day.
It can even burst.
This is why the controversy around people collapsing in the gym, that in social events, people are like, these big men, they just collapse, and they think it's because of picking weights, but that's
not the point.
case.
It's not so people are getting scared of coming to the gym, thinking that, why is it that most of these big dudes are just collapsing
Yes.
in the gym, so they blame it on the gym.
So
The gym is not to blame for this.
Since we're at this point, so the aorta has two kinds of muscles on it actually. So there's an elastic muscle and there's two kinds of muscles. So when you do a lot of strength training, hypertrophy-based training,
Yeah.
that lumen becomes a little thicker. But as you do more cardio,
It opens up.
when you do more cardio, the second type of muscle that actually opens up the aorta.
Damn.
There are muscles that actually can increase the lumen. To the
So
size
that's
of
why they say cardiovascular improves the health of the heart by opening up your
Absolutely.
lumen.
So, that's why ever since my professor said that, I'm like, cardio is so important now. So cardio can open up that aorta, that lumen of the aorta. And so now you've got more blood. That's why these marathon runners have such a low heart rate.
Yeah.
More blood,
Yeah. So this is what I always try to advocate to my clients, that you need to have a bit of both. Waist training and cardiovascular training. Because like what you're saying, marathon runners, their resting heart rate looking at, if not, endurance athletes, let's just put it that way. Lance Armstrong, at one point, though he was using some shit, but at one point it was 32 beats per minute, resting heart rate. Now, what it means really is that for someone who's that healthy, his heart rate doesn't have to beat that fast to transmit blood. It can just like...
Absolutely.
Is it the
32
efficiency?
is the efficiency of it. So, so 32 beats per minute. Now, for someone who is very unhealthy, deconditioned, who doesn't do cardiovascular, with 120 beats per minute or 80 beats per minute at rest, which means that is going to beat too fast and you get tired easily.
Yeah, you hit your maximum too early.
Whoa.
And so you become, you can't really push that much. For someone going from 32 to 160,
It takes time.
can push a lot harder than someone going from 80 to
what?
130.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Is that why I feel tired? Like cardio? I never liked cardio,
I know,
okay?
but it's absolutely important.
But yeah, I do it, but is that why do I feel tired? Say, my capacity of cardio and his capacity is different. Why is that? Is it because he's doing more
No,
of it?
now look at it this way. When you started the first day that you came into the gym,
Yeah,
when your heart was totally deconditioned,
yes.
I put you on a treadmill.
Yeah.
You were like, Chenai, this I can't do, especially Tabata protocol. We stopped it completely, but
Yeah.
now we tried it a year later, we did it here, but
Yes.
we were like, Chenai, how come I'm able to do this? It was a bit easier, manageable.
Yeah.
It's because, like what he's saying, your heart has become stronger, it has become healthier, so you can recover quicker, and also it can supply nutrients and oxygen to the exercising muscles. Because now it's a powerful muscle. It's powerful, it's fast. So its strength actually has improved. So your cardiovascular strength is okay. But if you keep doing it, if you keep practicing it, it'll even get better and better and better. Why I do so much cardio is because I've been running for a long period of time. So your heart also adapts to that. Then I can accommodate such endurance levels. But it's just practice.
You've been running since 18?
I was running before I was born, bro. Okay. This is the fun story. Is most people don't even know this, but I when I was born, my development was a bit delayed in terms of I could not walk for a period of 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know. I did not.
Too jacked.
I was too. I think I was too strong. And my legs could not take me. Dude. So the thing is, me and my younger brother, we just 11 months apart. So when my mother gave birth to me, she had not used the word. She had to leave me with my grandparents so that she was pregnant and she was staying in the city. So I grew up with my so I'm feeling like I did not have enough milk from my mother, that essential nutrients that you get from your mother. So my development was a bit delayed. So now, the moment I started walking and running, I'm like, I will never stop running again. I never know when this is going to stop for me. So it was delayed, I mean, so just run away with it. So I'm like Forrest Gump, dude. I'm not going to stop running. I'm just going to keep going. And also, it's just the runner's high.
Absolutely.
That we talked about every time after I ran.
Yeah, you guys stop me from my run.
We had to see you before you leave, because the doctor is going to be away for a month to Sri Lanka on internship.
I'm glad we had you today, and this has been an interesting chat. Thank you for being there, and hopefully you'll have a good trip, and we'll see you soon.
Yep.
We want you back. We want to talk more about drugs and pharmaceutical, and I think the medical industry.
And also share the experiences in Sri Lanka when you come back, how it is. It'll be awesome to have you back as well, man.
Okay.
We are going to miss you.
Thank you.
I'm already missing you.
I want to miss you guys as well.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Doc.
Chenai. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.